Welcome to the La Joquita Recreation Ground. It is overcast, it is gray, and it is rainy. And it is Ascension Football Cunupia FC coming up against Deportivo Point Fortin. And, well, beautiful day for football, if you ask me. My name is James Saunders. I'm joined by Brent Sancho as we get set for what is set to be an epic match in rainy conditions, perhaps the rainiest we've seen, perhaps in the wettest conditions that we have seen so far in the tournament.
Yeah, it's been overcast, of course, as you can see with the weather forecast here, 28 degrees Celsius, 90 degrees, and of course wind at 8 kilometers. It's going to be a slick surface for the players. The footwear is imperative to make sure there are no slip-ups here. As you said, integral game here this afternoon.
Cunupia coming up against Deportivo Point Fortin. Of course, two teams very close in the standings. Point Fortin in 4th, Cunupia in 5th position. This is a battle royale, so to speak.
It is a battle royale. Of course, players are missing. That is the storyline here this afternoon. Some players, of course, selected for the Nation League on the Deportivo side. Of course, Marvin Phillips and Luke Phillips going on to Nations League. And, of course, Coach Carrington as well. And for Cunupia, Kevin Woodley is not here. So players are missing. It is an opportunity for other players to show up here in this big clash.
Yeah, well, it's a big clash. Nonetheless, as we look at where the line, the standings, Deportivo in 4th, Cunupia in 5th. But, of course, at the top of the pile, Team La Joquita Rangers. They had a big draw this evening in the second match. They're going to be coming up against second from bottom Central FC. And, well, is this a chance to make up points for La Joquita? Or does the break that we had give Central FC a chance to regroup and give themselves a fighting chance in that match?
I think that is something that is going to play out here this afternoon. Opportunity for both teams to, of course, work on things. As you know, Terminex La Joquita Rangers will be missing some players for Nations League football. Central FC, a young team, they seem to starting to gel. It's a great opportunity here for them this afternoon to get some points. But I think for Terminex La Joquita Rangers, they'll be looking at the chasing pack and thinking that 3 points is imperative to move up.
Yeah, well, I'm going to talk about how close the battle is at the top in just a second, but I know you had the opportunity to speak to some people earlier. We're here with Salvon Francis, coach of Point Fortin, and you had a break, 1 week break. What's new about Point Fortin now?
Well, we had a little time to reassess the first rounds, so we did a little more work. We know we had to keep improving. We started the improvement. We want to just keep getting better and better for the second round because we're aiming for the top. Right, so we put in the work and that's what we had.
Well, the good news is that you're inside the top 4 now. What are your aspirations now going into the second half of the tournament so far?
Well, top 4 aim is for top 1, right? We're going to the top, that's all.
Lots of players missing from your squad today. Of course, assistant coach Renal Carrington is one of them. Marvin Phillips and, of course, young Luke missing out today.
Yeah.
How does that affect the composition of your team?
Does not affect it at all. From the beginning, I said we had equality in this team that we shouldn't miss any one particular player, right? So I think we had equality to pull it off, to keep moving up the table.
And finally, it's been wet. Past 2 days in Trinidad and Tobago, perhaps the wettest that we've seen so far in this competition. Does that affect your team and your gameplay in any way, you think?
Probably, we don't know. Probably only when it starts we will know. We have the right, some of the guys have the right footwear, so hopefully it doesn't affect us much.
Well, thank you very much, Coach, and good luck.
Okay, thanks.
Well, of course, James, you got a chance to catch up with Coach Defoe of Cunupia. Let's hear his comments.
Well, we're here with Mr. Michael Defoe, also known as Mr. Cool. You got a break. You're in 5th position at the moment. What's happening in Cunupia camp so far? What have you done in the break?
Well, we try to get a little more cohesive and try to get back our rhythm that we lost during the course of the season.
Yeah, you've certainly got aspirations coming up against Point Fortin because that's the closest team to you at the moment. How important are you taking this match in terms of that rivalry between the just ahead of you?
Yeah, this is an important match for us. In fact, it's the most important match for us at this point in time. And we're going to put our best foot forward.
I'm looking at your squad. And, of course, I've got to ask, Showtime Woodley, he's missing. Keon Daniel, they're missing. That's big misses. Tell me about that.
Well, Showtime is on sabbatical, and Keon has a slight injury, and he's recovering. That will take away some of our firepower, but we had some time to adjust, and we will see how well we did in this game coming here.
If it were a mathematical equation, you've got a problem to solve because that's a man who scored numerous amounts of goals. Do you think you've solved that problem or close to finding a goal scorer of that nature?
No, no.
Well, that's as frank as it gets.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Well,
No.
well, thank you very much, Mr. Dufour, and we wish that you good luck and that you solve your solutions later on.
Thanks.
Well, he's cool as he is honest. We take a break, and when we come back, we get set for match action. Cunupia FC versus Deportivo, Point Fortin.
The situation we have here is that these characters, and I refer to them as pests, right? What they are doing is destroying our country, but not on my watch. No street, no turf, no block shall belong to these cockroaches, right? It's no longer business as usual. Happy hour is over. If they don't fear God, at least they will fear Terminix.
Have you considered how your methods could impact on pests across the country?
I find we look after the rights of pests as opposed to the rights of the 1.3 million law-abiding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if Roach Ladden's son come here for the carnival if you'll interview him, eh?
But how could you defend one shot, one kill?
What? You want me to throw a pillow at him?
I didn't say that.
No, well, if a roach jumps in front of you now, what will you do?
Run.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Father.
Pests bothering you? Call Terminix at 672-5007 or 672-0042 or visit our website at terminix.co.tt for a free quote and consultation. Join our fight against pests.
I think it might have been Squeezy ranking the Trinidad and Tobago dancehall artists that spoke about the rainy weather, and that's exactly what we're experiencing right here at the La Hocata Recreation Ground. This is Ascension football action. My name is James Saunders. I'm joined by former Trinidad and Tobago international footballer Brent Sancho, and well, that beautiful McCaw, who has always been the #1 supporter at this ground, as we get set for what is expected to be a big clash between teams that are in contrasting positions in the table. Cunupia FC, of course, are in 5th position with 13 points, and just above them lie Deportivo Point Fortin in 4th position with 17 points. They've got 5 wins in the competition, 2 losses and 2 draws, and they'll be looking to add some more insurance in that as the match progresses. Brent Sanchez alongside me. Brent, this is a very exciting fixture that we expect.
Certainly on paper, it looks like a cracker, of course, particularly with the positioning of both teams. And you would have to expect, from a Deportivo perspective, they must be looking at this as an opportunity to keep up with the rest of the pack. That is police, defense force, and of course leaders, Terminix La Hocata Rangers. As it relates, of course, to Cunupia, they want to keep closer, of course, to Deportivo. Missing players here, James, in this fixture, of course, from a Point Fortin point of view. Stalwart in the goal, Marvin Phillips, and captain out for national team duty. And of course, young Luke Phillips as well, out for national duty. And of course, their head coach, Reynold Carrington, is also out as well. And for Cunupia, of course, Kevin Showtime Woodley, their top scorer, their top talisman, and the leader in the team is out today. But so much so for who is missing, it's more about who is here today. And of course, it's a cracker, 4th versus 5th.
Well, it's very damp conditions here in La Hocata, and perhaps the wettest that we've seen since the 9 weeks of the competition has gone on so far. And we do expect a cracker. It should be a passer's surface, so to speak. Yeah, happy faces making the trek all the way from the southwestern peninsula. They'll be hoping to add to their upward ascent. Spoke to Coach Selvon Francis prior to the game, and he was saying that he intends for the momentum to continue that they had coming into the break. Does a break really affect that, though?
I think there would be some challenges. It's not been a long break for any stretch of the imagination. Just a week the teams would have had hold. It would have been a situation where they would have had the chance to work on some of the things that was not working in the first phase of the tournament. Of course, they're correct. it must be noted, though, James, that Deportivo was one of those teams that was in the ascendancy, certainly improving as games go along.
All the lineups are in front of us. Terrence Lewis replaces Marvin Phillip in goal. Andre Etienne and Ronald Paul will marshal the defense. Isaiah Garcia, who got a call up with the Trinidad and Tobago training squad, will be in defense together with Justin Cornwall, Andre Pacheco, Isaiah Hudson, Nathaniel Garcia, Houghton Hector, and 2 changes to the lineup. Omri Baird gets his first start together with Ezekiel Kessa, and they will replace some of the better-known players in the squad, and among them is the young Jordan Riley, who sits on the bench today. Cunupia FC, it is glaring the absence of their leading marksman, Kevon Showtime Woodley. He's missing from the bunch, and together with a former national player in Keon Daniel, Jean-Pierre David, the goalkeeper, will hope to continue his outstanding form between the goal. Stephen Julian, Ian Cowie, Kadeem Graham will marshal the defense. In the middle, it's much of the same. Ilya Brewster, Christian Maloney, Chevin Cesar, and they will rely on Brandon Semper, who gets his way into the starting lineup and will hope to get some goals for Cunupia FC. Michael Defoe is the coach of the team. Well, picturesque the background at the Locator Recreation Ground. Crowd just trickling in just after work here in Trinidad and Tobago. This ground situated in East Trinidad and Tobago, just about 7.5 kilometers away from the Piarco International Airport and less than 5 kilometers away from the nearest town of Arima. Both these teams traveling from quite a distance. Cunupia FC from central Trinidad, Point Fortin from the southwestern peninsula, an area that has a proud history of producing quality players. Of course, lots of names come to mind when you speak about Point Fortin, Brent Sancho.
Always have had players, of course, decorating our national team as the teams walk out to take the field. And Point Fortin has traditionally done well at all national levels, whether it be age group levels or at the senior level. As James would have rightfully mentioned, a bevy. We would have probably take this entire broadcast to name all the names that would have played for the national team from Point Fortin.
Well, Leroy Dillon is one of them that comes to mind. And that man on your far left, Houghton Hector, a wealth of international experience for Trinidad and Tobago. Houghton Hector, he will lead Point Fortin. Quincy Williams, talking about leadership, will be in charge of this match. FIFA referee of the highest esteem. Certainly has broken onto the scene as one of the top young referees in Trinidad and Tobago, and he will be in charge of this fixture. He will be assisted by a mixture of youth and experience as the teams finally exchange pleasantries. Cunupia FC, of course, they come into the competition with just 4 wins in the competition. They've got 5 losses, though, and a draw. What do you think are the real keys to the game, Brent Sancho?
Well, I think from a Cunupia standpoint, and of course with the experienced coach in Michael Defoe, they would want to control the tempo of the game and make sure that the midfield potency that Deportivo has is timed. From, of course, a Deportivo perspective, they've certainly been, as I said, a team on the ascendancy. A lot of creativity and guile from that man there in your frame, Houghton Hector, and they would want to get him and Nathaniel Garcia on the ball so they can create.
Well, that man, the number 3, Kadeem Graham, has filled in well in the absence of a Ghanaian Maestro Mensah. The good news for Cunupia fans, though, he's on the bench today after missing out the last 4 matches due to injury, and that should be a big boost for them.
Yeah, certainly a boost, as we talked about in this broadcast. No Kevon Showtime Woodley, normally the leader for this team. There is, of course, individuals within the Cunupia ranks that could bring some sort of brightness and spark for Cunupia. They certainly need to start on the front foot here this afternoon. A big fixture there, 4th versus 5th. 3 points, of course, would see them, of course, reduce the deficit in terms of where they are. But for Deportivo, it's all about remaining with the status. And that is Police, Defense Force, and Terminex La Joquita Rangers. 3 points would keep them in the race.
Andre Pacheco, Nathaniel Garcia, Andre Etienne, a playful look about them. They're a team that have run into some recent form and they know it. Lots of concentration for the team in black, though. They have started off pretty decently in the competition, but they've fallen away somewhat. and they have a chance to change things around in this fixture. In a minute, we will have kickoff as the ball gets rolling in this Ascension fixture. Cunupia FC in black against Deportivo Point Fortin in the orange and blue. Nathaniel Garcia gets in on the act early. It's a side certainly full of depth. Point Fortin, they've just been in existence for the past 3 years. There's been many incarnations of Point Fortin teams. Deportivo Point Fortin being one of the latest. So they're trying to push forward here. It's Graham. It's been rock solid in defense. And that's a rock solid challenge from Nathaniel Garcia as well. Cunupia FC, on the other hand, they are, well, a club that has been in existence since 2008. Despite their short history, though, they have managed to win the National Super League here in Trinidad and Tobago back in 2018. Did attempt to make the jump to the professional circuit 2 years later. Not the best of times for them, just 2 matches in their 17 fixtures. But they're a team certainly that have been stacked with quality, although some might say they're in the rebuilding stage at the moment.
Yeah, like most teams in this competition, it has been an opportunity to give youth a chance and young players coming through the ranks that opportunity. It is an interesting encounter. We're already, James, seeing players slipping and sliding on the slippery surface here at La Hoquita, and it is so important to make sure that you have the right footwear to give you the opportunity.
Oh, Hector could be in here. The flag stays down, and well, the goalkeeper was quick off his line, but I think that Hector, if given another opportunity, might have felt he could have done better.
Yeah, it was an excellent pass by Pacheco over the top. I tell you what, I would have put my mortgage on Hector pulling that down and putting it into the back of the net. A little bit unfortunate there for him. It's good to see him breaking lines and getting advance of the forwards, and of course finding himself in the box. He's a good finisher.
Oh, goalkeeper Terrence Lewis, he's gotten his feet wet quite literally. Was to make an awkward save just a while ago. But the thing about Point Fortin, it's a team that lots of young talents. Ezekiel Kessa, who's come in today, scored in the last match that they played in Matchweek 9. But they've certainly got a host of veterans. Andrew Pacheco, the man on the ball, Nathaniel Garcia, Houghton Hector, being part of that veteran trial. And just got to feel that they've got the right blend of players in the team.
Well, it's a team, we talked about the absentee list, but when you look at what they have here, you would have to argue that there's some good depth within this Point Fortin team. Certainly a good representation of the talent at that side of the island. They have been a joy to watch, James, in terms of what their output has been. A lot of creativity and, of course, a bit of robustness within the team and steel that would suggest that they can challenge for eventual tournament winners.
Shelvin Caesar was the intended target. Didn't quite get in his direction. Long searching ball, trying to get Josiah Daniel going. He already has a goal in the competition. Need a lot more from him. Pacheco. Cornwall. Ronell Paul certainly has looked comfortable since filling in for Wesley John. It's also a good time to welcome our viewers across the Caribbean. Of course, we're live on Sportsmax, and also welcome to our viewers in Scene TV in Jamaica. Wagwan. Here's Isaiah Garcia. Oh, he's done really well, Garcia. Just couldn't get his pass in the path of Kisa. Well, got fancy there, but he gifted possession right back to Point Fortin. Hudson. Hector. Well, a chance could open up here, and the goalkeeper is quicker. It's the second time that they've been able to penetrate from the left-hand side.
Yeah, we talked about Cunupia's ability to keep shackles on the Deportivo middle of the park. A lot of experience and quality there by when you talk about Pacheco and of course Hector and Garcia, but they still allowed them that space and time, and of course so far it's been it hasn't resulted in a goal, but they are giving them the opportunity to put the passes together.
Well, Hakeem Lewis gambled his luck there. Safe to say that he lost out on that bet. Nowhere near troubling Terence Lewis in goal. Cornwall. Well, they've lost out in a bad area here. And, well, it's a shot that certainly got the goalkeeper dirty. It was nowhere near finding the back of the net. The goalkeeper, Terence Lewis, of course, big shoes to fill in the absence of Marvin Phillip, the player who's on Trinidad and Tobago duty in the Nations League. Of course, Trinidad and Tobago will take on Nicaragua in the opening match tonight in Managua. Can he find room? Puts it away, only as far as Graham, who tries to get it forward quickly without accuracy. Nathaniel Garcia. It's Cornwall. Ronell Paul. He's just looking for movement ahead. Decides to pick out his centre-back partner, Etienne. Hector. Cornwall. Heavy touch, gives it back to Cunupia as Graham gets it away. Well, tuned like a ballerina there, but he still manages to keep it. Cunupia FC. And the break could be away down the right side as Garcia bombs forward. Just loses his footing as he won a corner. Well, the assistant referee says no, it's a goal kick. And Cowie, well, came out worse in the collision there.
Well, it was a freight truck meeting a runaway train. That could have been a lot worse. Cowie, of course, losing his feet in. Thought he got there a little bit late, particularly with the pace there, coming at that right-hand side. But he's fortunate to get away the goal kick.
Cunupia. Well, ball's just bobbling around, isn't it? But you do expect on a wet surface that the ball will be zooming around. This surface has been a bit unusual in the way that the ball has bounced around. Surprised?
Well, I think some of it is down to the weather being as it is. It's quite slippery out there, as I said, and players are really struggling to keep their balance. Of course, that's affecting and impacting their ability to control the football, hence the reason it's bouncing around off of them. But other than that, it's pretty lush surface here in La Joquita Recreational. Tell you what, James, it's a surface that makes you want to play football.
It's Garcia. Etienne. Oh, they've got the second best defensive record in the league. Just 8 goals conceded, Point Fortin. And they look to add on the other end, but Hudson is adjudged to be offside. Well, can you tell that he doesn't agree? Well, he's found himself in some trouble. Graham. It's back to Hudson. That's good teamwork as they win back possession. Given away. Here's Garcia. Andre Pacheco. Well, tried to be clever with the link-up play, but he lost possession. And Daniel could be onside, but the flag goes up. And, well, it denies him his joy. Cornwall gets a second bite. Well, this could be trouble here. It's clever from Maloney. Oh, he's found some space, hasn't he? But Etienne gets the big boot. Still with Cunupia. Chavin Cesar. Can he pick out somebody in black? Gets into some good space here, but it eventually runs out of touch. Couldn't find Raul Felix.
Well, I think the danger for Deportivo is they could be the architect for their own downfall, as we see, of course, the players and staff there for Deportivo Point Fortin. Of course, no Reynolds Carrington, but they have to be careful that they don't try to overcomplicate things in the middle of the park. We've seen that already in 1 or 2 occasions. Just need to simplify things there and complete control of this football game so far.
Well, try to get in some space, but again, Etienne comes in and, well, even before the whistle, he was hurdling out of the way of Etienne. That's muscle memory, you call that, Brent Sancho.
I think I will hurl away from Etienne as well. Fearsome defender. Known for that heavy tackle, slide tackle. I tell you, wouldn't want to be even in a 60-40 in my favor, James, against Etienne.
Andre Etienne, of course, top load of experience for the defender. 5 caps with the Trinidad and Tobago national team. And, well, has played in India. Did win a title there, winning the Duan Cup in India, Andre Etienne. He's back home now to help his home community, Point Fortin. Cowie. Well, Cowie's a player, has played in almost every position in defense. Daniel trying to link up and, well, he's claiming that something illegal happened and the referee agrees.
Well, I tell you what, the defenders are loving this condition. They've been sliding in. Some lunging challenges. It's not really textbook defending, but it's the weather that they're enjoying it. Hopefully it's not a detrimental one that costs their team.
Daniel gets his head on it. But will be cleared safely by Garcia. Kesa. Oh, that's a good ball. And in some space here.
Oh, I tell you what.
Yeah, his legs have been taken out.
It would be very interesting, James, to see what part of the area that was. Area of the field, that is. Wonder if it just clips in the box. Be interesting to see.
Well, he got hot and spicy and given the appropriate treatment.
I was well outside the box. It was very late. From where we sit here, there's a moment there I thought that it was in the box. Of course, with the wet conditions, the challenge would have taken him into the box.
Well, Brandon Semper getting a start today would have not liked to be the naughty party. It's 14 escaped with yellow. Now that's a conference. I'd love to hear the chatter between them. Hughes and Hector, Kesa and Andre Pacheco, all known for their fearsome shots around the area.
Well, there's certainly a lot of quality there in and around the ball. It is a difficult angle, one that favors the goalkeeper, but with the type of quality that's surrounding that football, why not?
Newton Hector has scored from the free kick position, similar positions in this tournament. Sure, Jean-Pierre David would have that in mind as he sets up his wall. Wow, the referee's unhappy about something. So too Trevin Cesar, who's pleading his case.
I'm not sure what he is pleading. It's the laws are very, very simple. They haven't played the ball.
Well, the man from Lambo Tobago will have to be careful as Quincy Williams puts down his mark, quite literally. And it's Pacheco, and the wall does its job. Well, they tried to get Cesar going, but that pass was cut out. Here's Hector. It's gone past one. Opening up space here for Kesa. And chance could still open up for Hudson. Cowie does well to clear the danger. And on the other end, it's a foot race between Daniel and Cornwall. And the flag goes for offside. Well, might have felt that he might have had the better there of Cornwall. And he might feel that he hasn't seen the best of his team. I was a bit surprised that Cornwall was not selected in the local training squad. He's certainly been one of the better defenders in this tournament so far.
Yeah, he's done more than enough, I think, to be called in. He's shown great balance offensively and defensively. He's been rock solid defensively and certainly has been explosive on the offensive end. But of course, the national setup would have had other ideas.
Oh, heavy challenge on Hudson. Unfortunate to keep possession to Garcia. Here's his cousin, Nathaniel Garcia, loses it. Chico lost his footing. Point Fortin still keep it. Kessa running into traffic. And it's away by Stephen Julian, the centre-back. Oh, that's well cut out though. Well, tell you what, might have broken the song barrier there. But thankfully, no broken bones or injuries from that challenge. Hector. Nathaniel Garcia asked to play in a central position. Brewster's touch is heavy, but Maloney keeps it. Daniel is giving away possession, and Point Fortin could have a chance to push numbers forward. It's a slip and slide contest at the moment. Teams are struggling to keep possession. Hector likes in 1v1 position, and he's perhaps gotten the better. Well, he's done well to recover. Still not cleared. Well, finally, Cowie sends it anywhere. And let's see, best link-up play, and that is saying much from Point Fortin so far that we've seen in the last few minutes.
But they've looked very comfortable in the defensive third and middle third. It's in the attacking third, James, where I think that little bit of quality that they do possess and creativity has been lacking. And I think they'll be happy so far with the opening 20 minutes or so.
Cornwall being hassled. Very high Cunupia press. Wanted to almost work there. Oh, the central midfielders here struggling to find space, coming deep, pulling wide, as in the case of Nathaniel Garcia and Houghton Hector. Kept a very solid middle block, Cunupia. Here's Graham. Well, for Stocks, he'd have been trading well, but he's been trading possession all evening. And here's some space opening up finally for Houghton Hector. He's up against Graham, and that's a good tackle. And Graham is eventually fouled by Cornwall.
Yeah, it's a good challenge here by Roel Felix. He had to get that right. Hector making a sharp cut inside. Seemed to have beaten his defender there, James, and had his sights on goal. I think Felix had other ideas. Good, solid challenge.
So we are inside the 20th minute of the match. Still goalless between Cunupia FC and Deportivo Point Fortin. Mid-table clash here in the Ascension tournament. Point Fortin in 4th position, just above Cunupia FC in 5th. And should be easy for Julian. Well, in the absence of their talisman, Kevin Woodley, who scored 9 goals in the competition, they're going to be relying on Daniel and that man, the goalkeeper, Jean-Pierre David, who so far has done his job. Well, it's been scrappy, to be fair.
I think the conditions have played a part to, of course, the nature of this game so far. Players just are not comfortable with their footing. But there has been a lot of intent, though, James. Both teams certainly showed up here this afternoon. But I think Deportivo Point Fortin seemed to be the team more in control, certainly from a possession standpoint. Creating chances and executing them is another story.
Well, here's Garcia trying to find Hector. Well, in terms of confidence, Deportivo, they have gotten maximum points from their last 4 fixtures. 4 wins for Deportivo. The last win coming against Maruga, 2-1. It's been quite a different story, though, for Cunupia FC, who've just gotten 1 point in their last 4 matches. And that came in the way of a draw against the league leaders, Rangers. Well, here's Cesar. Daniel. Well, they've been playing patty cake. Nobody wants to eat. Garcia takes it away as Etienne finds himself in an unfamiliar advanced position. And Etienne, the centre-back, could be in there. Let's go! Point Fortin. And whenever in doubt, Houghton Hector bails them out, and he's done it yet again.
Well, this was all about that man there with full smiles, Andre Etienne. What an outstanding piece of football. Of course, winning the football high up the park and going from there and eventually putting it across into the box for that man, Hector, to put it into the back of the net. What a tremendous effort by the centre half. Andre Etienne creating and carving out the opportunity for Hector, who made no mistake with a great execution and putting it into the back of the net.
Well, I've got to say it was all about Andre Etienne, the centre-back. Really got himself in a great position, found himself bursting forward, and in the end providing the service for Houghton Hector. What a goal. Could there be more from Point Fortin? Is this the key that picks the lock? Here's Ronell Paul. Isaiah Hudson. Oh, he's got a tango here. Oh, he's done well. Getting past his man in a dangerous area. And, well, he came so close to goal number 2. And, well, the whistle comes to the rescue of Cunupia. Jean-Pierre David, he was taking no chances himself.
Yeah, good piece of skill there by Hudson. Eventually evading Felix and whipping that ball across the box. Dangerous ball. Unfortunately, the offside was called. But good football again by Deportivo. Really now taking a stranglehold of this fixture.
Well, more chances could open up here as Trevin Cesar tries to get in on the act. He's taken out. Well, they need a wake-up at the moment. Cunupia, the trailing. So they're not shy to pile bodies forward as the big men finally try to join the fray. Kadeem Graham, the centre-back, will be one of 7 players in the area for Cunupia. In at Julian, and well, it's cleared away by Point Fortin, and they could break yet again. Here's Kesa, he's from Houghton Hector. He's living in space at the moment. 1v1 against Felix. Skessa gotten past one, and well, he just couldn't pick out a teammate. Unfortunate in the end.
I felt there was a better option out wide right for him. Instead of course, going in the other side there to Hector. But Cunupia needs to be careful here, James. They really have to find a way to get themselves back into this one. Looks like Hector and company have loads of space out there. That's another brilliant ball by Etienne.
Well, they look to create more space as Pacheco's hassled for this one, but he does well to keep it alive. Couldn't pick out Hector. Well, it's a game that has snoozed and cruised and has been rudely awakened by a Houghton Hector goal. As Deportivo Point Fortin lead by 1-0 against Cunupia. Here's Omri Baird. Well, they're piling bodies forward now as he's getting past 1, 2. Still has an option and flag stays down. Chance open up for Isaiah Hudson to make it 2-0. And they say 1 + 1 is 2. And well, he's counting his blessings at the moment, Isaiah Hudson, as Deportivo Point Fortin lead by 2-0.
Well, there was a slight hesitation in the execution of the goal. I think Hudson may have felt there was signs of an offside. But once the ball was collected by him here in this area, there's only one thing in his mind, and that's putting it past the goalkeeper, giving him no chance whatsoever. 2-0, Point Fortin, nothing less than they deserve.
Well, it's an outfit that we see Jean-Pierre David beaten, but when he's left all alone, with the experience of a man like Isaiah Hudson, well, nothing that he can do. As just like that, Point Fortin, they've grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck. Is there to be a response from Cunupia? Well, here's Omri Baird. He wants to get his name on a roll, and he has! Goodness gracious me! Well, the camera bulbs are flashing all over La Hocketa at the moment, and there's one name that will be on the headlines tomorrow, and it is the name Omri Baird. I tell you, it's not Miss World, but that was a beauty. 3-0, Point Fortin.
Well, he looked like he was thinking about what to do, and his right foot took charge there with an absolute belter into the back of the net, giving Jean-Pierre absolutely no chance. Tell you what, that is a scorcher. I'm not sure if he could hit it any better. Pure laces, lead of the ball. What a punctuation there by Baird. Not sure if there's a goal of the tournament, but I'd like to cast my vote right now.
I tell you what, it certainly is a candidate. That's the kind of goals you tell your grandchildren about and their great-grand, and, well, you tell anybody about. In fact, they might be talking first.
Well, if there is a TV screen on the taxi maxi back to Point Fortin, I could tell you what I would want at my station, and it's this here. Omri Baird, look at this for a shot. He takes a touch and sets himself, and look at the pace and trajectory of that ball. Poor goalkeeper David didn't know what flew past him. We are very close to Piarco Airport, And for Jean-Pierre, he must have thought that that one was at least a departure out of Picaco. A lot of thoughts in the mind there, but I could tell you what he's thinking. A rocket of yellow screaming past him. He's gonna have nightmares tonight.
Tell you what, kids, if you've never seen what a kryptonite looks like, it's that yellow spherical thing that you saw hit the net. Not even Superman can get it. And after 30 minutes, 3-0 Deportivo. The alarm bells are ringing in Central. And but I'm not sure anybody's going to pick up right now. Can they answer?
Well, we talked a lot about giving time and space to the middle of the park to Deportivo Point Fortin, and Canopia have done just that. The threesome of Pacheco, Hector, and Garcia have done everything and anything they want to do in the middle of the park. They've completely dominated. They've stroke passes, they've thread passes, they've broken lines, they've gotten forward, and they look so comfortable in the middle of the park. And they have been the designers of Canupia's downfall so far. I think one of the challenges, James, for Canopia is the advanced position that Hector is picking up. He's not staying necessarily in the middle of the park. He's been breaking forward and even in some situations advancing past Beard. His movement has caused no end of worry to Canopia.
Well, they've got to work out the solutions to the conundrum that they find themselves in at the moment, Cunupia. It's Point Fortin at the moment, cruise control. Here's Garcia. Well, that is well cut out by Cowie. Couldn't find Daniel. It's Paul gets Hudson back in the mix. Oh, they're just having fun at the moment now, aren't they? They're in charge and control. And they're making it look easy. Well, here's Ronel Paul. As cool as you'd like. Paul, tell you what's not cool, giving away possession to Canopia. And that's a good turn though. Space is opening up, and well, they're going to hit the net with wild attempts like that. Might have gone for a throw even. Just perhaps some of the desperation showing. He's had an easy day at the office. But I just wonder what the confidence might be for the players in black at the moment. To their credit, they've kept their chins up quite well so far. Looks can be deceiving. His bed. Well, tell you what, we're talking about him in Vance Ribber, Labrie, Cochran, Captiville at the moment. He's the chatter of the town. Not going to be buying his own lunch tomorrow.
I think he could even go as far up as Pfizer and maybe to get a free meal there. Tell you what, it didn't look like he was going to shoot, James. But whatever doubt he had in his head was swiftly changed, of course, once the ball left his shoes.
So there's a call for a handball, and it will give Point Fortin an opportunity to send missiles into the Cunupia area. What do you make of a movement between Cornwall and that man, Houghton Hector? They've interchanged well, they've created space on that side of the field.
Yeah, I will even add, of course, Hudson to that mix as well. They've interchanged positions, and because Hector is such a clever player, James, he's been able to find and create space, not only for himself, but his teammates as well. And it's one of the reasons why Canopia is struggling to get hold of this game.
Oh, here's Hector in search of some more joy. Oh, he's gone for the acrobatic, and in the end, it's the simple nutback from Ronald Paul that finds its way to the goalkeeper. It's not over. Here they come again. Nathaniel Garcia, he's gotten into a dangerous area now. Can he pick out a shirt? Well, he's found the goalkeeper, and he's found him as alert as ever. Well, the air raid sirens are going all over again. And again, the goalkeeper gets a big fist this time again. The shot goes wide eventually, and Nathaniel Garcia apologizes. But it certainly screamed danger. And it was that man, Jean-Pierre David, who's come to the rescue of Cunupia yet again.
Well, it's only been 36 minutes gone in this game, and already Deportivo Point 14 has sent a signal out to the rest of the competition that they are here for the second phase of this tournament. They look like they're in impeccable form, James. Everything looks so natural, very fluid in their approach to the game, interchanging of positions as we mentioned before.
Oh, he had to get jiggy there as Stephen Julian
Look at that
shot.
for confidence.
Yeah. Caused them all sorts of worry. It's a foot race here with Hudson. And, well, he's been impeded the legal way. Felix, a guilty party. Oh, what a match he's had. What a match his team's had, Point 14. Oh, that's clever. Sent his man on a ghost chase. Opened up some space for Pacheco. Nice fluid movement about the attack of Point 14. Attacking trio. Really interchanged really well. It's Garcia. Oh, that's good. Almost finds his cousin in space. He can't get a second bite maybe as Beard gets involved. Will be a Cunupia throw.
It's really a big ask, James, for Cunupia, from a Cunupia perspective, to get themselves back into this one. They just have not been able to find any sort of rhythm, particularly in the middle of the park.
Wow, got his wires crossed there. Attention was to find Hector. Maybe he might have served himself well looking at the playbook of Omri Baird.
But I tell you, from what we've seen so far, they've been sharp, Point 14. Very, very sharp. And all that they've done, very tidy in possession and good use of the ball. Good patience, good build up. They've been very clever. As I said, that middle three for Point 14 have been outstanding so far. Really controlling the tempo of the ball.
Here's Kesa. Paul. Isaiah Hudson. Cornwall. So they've managed to win it back here. And they can go forward to Hudson, who finds Hector. Cunupia finally get an opportunity to keep ball, and they'd want to keep it as long as possible. Daniel couldn't do it, but they do win a throw. Here's Julian. Chavin Cesar, he's been the invisible man for much of his first half, the former TNT international. Just feel like they need a leader at the moment, Cunupia. Just wonder who's going to put their hands up for the team in black. Oh, they'll have time to think about that. As Maloney goes in search of some joy, and it's easy in the end for Lewis. Oh, this is where it gets sticky. It's Hector. Kesa! And Jean-Pierre David might have gotten a touch that takes it for a corner.
Well, I'd like to see that play again. You have to see that touch by Hector. I think that has to be easily the touch of the tournament. Over the shoulder, after a long kick from the goalkeeper, Hector in full flight, and been able to pull it down. Look at this for an outstanding touch.
Wow, it's good defending in the end. Oh, on this one, it's steered wide of the mark, and well, you'd want an attempt like that again. It's a goal kick though. That's not heaven, but I can't help but go back to that Houghton Hector touch of an angel. Here's Julian. Well, the centre-back has found himself in advanced positions as he tried to compete with the midfield, add extra numbers. Oh, this is smooth from point 14. Yes, Hudson should be in, but again, Julian, I spoke of him,
did well.
In fact, Graham, rock solid.
Well, look at this for a touch, James. Over the shoulder, look at this. Magnificent stuff. That's, I guess, what we see in Trinidad, a touch from touchland.
Certainly as sweet as they come. Here's Garcia. He's had little defending to do in this match. Isaiah Garcia, the right back. Has had several touches though. And again, they found a way to create space, and this time Julian gets in the way of Nathaniel Garcia.
Again, looking at the position that Hector picked up, he's just been able to find spaces and pockets within this game to, of course, impact and affect, of course, the play. It's just been a joy to watch. Class and experience of Hector.
Maloney looking for options, and well, picks out the option he was hoping to avoid. Hector, he's been everywhere, Houghton Hector, but this time he's giving it away to Daniel, and the chance could open up here as to get past the defending of Ronald Paul, and well, he's found out what many have found out so far in this competition. It's not easy to get around him. It's like the wall of Father Abraham.
I think when Hakeem Legal there picked up the ball in that wide position, his first touch really let him down there, James. Didn't really set him up for any sort of advancement past Paul.
Oh, here's Julian again, charging forward. And, well, centre-back, he's really getting forward, but it has left the space behind at point 14 are hoping to exploit. Underweighted, but Hudson tried his best to get around Rolf Felix, but without success. That's good defending. Well, just 1 minute and 30 seconds of time remaining in the first half. And they're going in search of more, the team from Deep South. Just 1 minute anticipated. he added on. Is there to be more drama in the first half? Oh, Maloney. The nice turn, but then the ugly giveaway. So added on time will be all that's left, the 1 minute. In the first half, a first half that has been dominated so far by Point Fortin, who lead by 3-0. Maybe more. And oh, wow. That right ham certainly stood as firm as the Rock of Gibraltar. Not sure he knew much about it.
I tell you, the power that he was able to generate from that one, Pacheco. Looking at the goalkeeper, Jean-Pierre's right hand, it flew back like it was a Barbie doll being flung across the room.
Well, they'll have a chance to grab a break as the first half has come to an end. It's a first half of jubilation for that team, Point Fortin, and it has been a nightmarish first half for Cunupia FC, who find themselves trailing by 3-0. We take a pause and we come back with first half highlights.
Freight Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. At our facilities, security checks ensures that all vehicles are secured. Our newly renovated bathrooms are always kept in a clean working order. Need repairs and maintenance? We have you covered. Our qualified workmen will get the job done. Boat storages, from our marina, you can easily push off for a family sailing trip. Out fishing with the boys. Or a fun DDI experience with
separate the winning team from the losing team at the moment. And Point Fortin, they hold the upper hand and the advantage at halftime over Cunupia FC. What a match that we've seen so far, a match that has ebbed and has flowed. The Ascension Angels are providing entertainment, and we are entertained with the highlights of the first half. And Houghton Hector, early, Omri Baird, thwarted by Jean-Pierre David. On the other end, Terrence Lewis filling in for Marvin Phillip. Well, certainly earned his pay. And then Kesa almost winning a foul inside the area, forcing the first yellow card of the match. But then this pass to Hudson, and again, Jean-Pierre David had to be at his best. Well, they huffed and they puffed, and Andre Etienne would help blow the door down, and Houghton Hector, well, he's not the Flying Dutchman, but the Flying Point Man. And the centre-back, unlikely source of the service that Hector would put away to give Point Fortin a 1-0 advantage. Then there was more, the Dilly and the Dally, and this time Hudson has enough room to pick his spot, and he made it 2-0. Point Fortin parting the Black Sea. Isaiah Hudson in charge of dancing and goal-scoring celebrations. And then Omri Baird with the best of the lot. That's the kind of goals that you don't stop. Picked his spot, and that's a net seeker. Didn't stop until it hit the net. And that put Point Fortin 3-0 in front of Cunupia. Nothing John Pierre David could do. And his expression sums up a first half. Well, the beauty of the night sky is the perfect backdrop for the first half stats. And it's a first half that has been pretty even almost in terms of shots, but it's been pretty contrasting in terms of results.
Yeah, certainly contrasting when you look at the shots on target, fouls, 2 apiece for both teams. Yellow cards, 1 for Cunupia. No red cards in this game so far. 2 offsides to Cunupia, 1 to Deportivo. And of course, corners, 1 for Cunupia, 3 saves apiece. You're correct in saying, James, that statistically it's certainly on par. But on the field of play, it has only been one team that has dominated proceedings this afternoon, and that's Deportivo Point Fortin.
Well, do you like nostalgia, Brent Sancho? Because we take a trip back as we look back at some of the recaps of the last match week. Wrong one certainly provided lots of action, and Terminex Lockett Rangers managing to hold on to that top spot nearly. And Police FC versus AC Port of Spain. This match, of course, took place in week 6, and Michael Jem Gordon provided some treats, getting a nice goal. Freitas tried to get in on the act himself. And look at this, the old dinky from Kareem Freitas. That's a wonderful hat, and it fit well. And then more action from them as Joel Lewis added his name to the goal scorer sheet. I think we should have a competition for celebrations. And goal number 4 would come from Batman Jem Gordon. He's been their leading marksman this season. And well, he's done his homework at the Police Barracks, and he take a 4-0 win. Police FC also took on Central Soccer World, and Simeon Bailey would get in on the act in this one, getting the first goal in that match. This match, of course, taking place in week 7. And spoke about Jem Gordon, and that's a gem of a goal, as he made it 2-0 for them. Gabriel Nanton, instrumental for them for the most part. But Joel Lewis, he likes dancing, and well, that's a happy ending for him. Yellow cards, celebrations, and fun. And of course, one of the best matches in match week 8, where Defense Force took on Police. It ebbed, it flowed, and then that happened. And well, do I need to say his name yet again? Jem Gordon, I'm going to say it anyway. He got them going early in this match. But this match, pay attention to him yet again, because he scored a double. Unfortunately for them, it's a match that they would eventually lose due to that decision. And they lost 4-2, but certainly one of the best matches of the tournament. And Police also took on Central FC. And Kareem Freitas, his responsibility has been to lead the line, and he's been efficient when called upon. Heavy challenge, and everybody seeing red. But he's been the least spoken person in the Police team, but perhaps one of the most crucial. Cameron Purcell, the defender, has already scored in excess of 4 goals in the tournament. Lots of action happening. And Deportivo Point Fortin, of course, they're playing tonight. They're in 4th place, and they've had a rocky road in this competition, ups and downs, but they've certainly been on the ascendancy. Shaquille Henry, one of the goal scorers for Deportivo. Man they call Smack. And what a celebration. Well, they took on Real Westport in week 8. And Akinola Gregory got in on the goal scoring act. And this game certainly provided lots of action. We spoke about Houghton Hector, and this time Andre Pacheco taking away what could have been one of the goals of the tournament from him, but what a combination that they've had. Houghton Hector has been an instrumental player, as we've seen tonight, and well, has been in the past for them, getting in on the act as well. Well, last week they took on Moruga FC, and they would score first in that match. Rough big boy play, and Nathaniel Garcia would be the one to seal it up for Deportivo Point Fortin, winning that match by 2-1. So it's a good time to take a break, and when we come back, we've got second half action. Deportivo lead by 3-0 against Cunupia FC.
Lasso Friend Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. At our facilities, security checks ensures that all vehicles are secured. Our newly renovated bathrooms are always kept in a clean working order. Need repairs and maintenance? We have you covered. Our qualified workmen will get the job done. Boat storages, from our marina, you can easily push off for a family sailing trip. Out fishing with the boys.
Well, the action is live and thriving here in La Hoqueta. 45 minutes will determine if the greatest comeback in the tournament will occur. But at the moment, one team has all the luck, Deportivo Point Fortin, as they lead by 3-0. It's been a first half that has been definitely all Point Fortin. Brent Sancho, of course, is alongside me. And what do you make of the first half, and can there be any sort of reversal for Cunupia FC in this game?
Of course, the changes seem to be coming in here for Canopia, but it's a tall ask for Canopia, James. I think one of the things that they needed to do was have control in the middle of the park, and they just haven't been able to do that. But credit the three men in the middle of the park for Deportivo Point Fortin in Hector, Pacheco, and Garcia. They've oozed with class and quality, as we see Ramdeen warming up. And they've been able, of course, to release the likes of Beard and Hudson and Cesar. It has been a really comfortable display by Deportivo as we have a look at Cunupia. And the discussion, of course, goes on for them. You just wonder, what can they possibly do to change things? It's going to be very, very difficult, as, of course, it has been a situation where they have not controlled any department of the field. They have been dictated to by that team there, Deportivo Point Fortin.
Oh, look at the quality. Smek Henry, Mark Ramdeen among the list of big performers. And some changes have been rung in for Cunupia. And, well, lots of changes. They've taken out the striker, Josiah Daniel, and they've brought on Delon Jagasa, the former Carpecheimer man. So he comes in. He is certainly one of two changes for Cunupia FC. And LaShawn Green, or rather Dominic Douglas, will replace Raul Felix, the wingback. So he's been tasked with trying to keep Houghton Hector quiet as a second half gets set to happen. So Ian Cowie has shifted over to the right-hand side as Felix has come off, and already Cunupia tried to push forward and show their intent in the second half. Just feel they've got to show a lot of that, a lot more if they are to get back in this game. And that's well away by Graham. It's point 14 through. It's Cornwall. Garcia. He's been perhaps the quietest of the midfield trio in the first half. Looking for Hector. And, well, a whistle for the tough challenge. So the deck has been shuffled for Cunupia FC, and they're hoping to find a trump card somewhere in that mix. Houghton Hector has his eyes set on that man and the white net behind him. Nathaniel Garcia also fancies having a go. Well, they've got a job to do, and they'd hope to be effective. And, well, they have been effective. Nathaniel Garcia keep it alive, though. And, well, Tingord manages to stay alive as Hector tries to keep it in. Only as far as Garcia. Andrew Pacheco, his pass is cut out. And that's good defending. Cornwall keeps it alive, but he's found himself with some space now, Cornwall. Can he pick out Houghton Hector? Well, he does find him. And maybe a shot, and that's well defended as well. Again by Maloney. Chevin Caesar. Cunupia tries to break forward. And again, Cornwall comes to the rescue. Pacheco. Isaiah Garcia. And Chevin Caesar, he's got a runner with him. And that's well cut out again by Cornwall. Well, positionally, he's been rock solid so far. Well, they're certainly bringing on the firestorm at the moment, point 14. Cunupia, they've prepared. They've brought on Maestro Mensah, the Ghanaian central defender. And he will be tested here. Houghton Hector gets there first. And, well, after 3, there was 4 and more for point 14. And Houghton Hector gets his second of the match. And maybe the writing is on the wall for Cunupia FC as they find themselves trailing by 4-0.
Talk about rolling back the hands of time. Hector is showing all the class and form that oozes from a man of that quality. It's a good ball there by Hudson Hector with the perfect run. And look at that for a finish. Absolutely no chance there for goalkeeper David in goal. Just when you felt that Cunupia were trying to turn things around, there comes the dagger. Might have to say game, set, match, James. Pretty early for it, but looks that way.
Well, they need a Harry Houdini to pull out one of his magic tricks, because Nathaniel Garcia, well, he has his joy abated. Well, they're looking for Cesar here, and he can get in. He has a yard of pace. And, well, Garcia's tackle just seemed to go right through him. Quincy Williams, not interested in the least. And, well, the man from Lambo is quite disappointed. Yes, Garcia is finding more space. Well, that is well cut out. And, well, it's much of a stretched game at the moment. They're finding more and more gaps. Here's Hector for the hat trick. Oh, John Pierre David with the arms of steel. And, well, it's finally cleared. But Point Fortin, they're huffing and a puffing, and they want to blow the door down. They want more. Well, Dominic Douglas could get in on the act here, but Terrence Lewis is comfortable. But again, more space. Oh, that's a great ball. And Kessa could be in, but he's lost his footing. Looks so good. But Mother Nature putting in the ultimate tackle. No. I don't think any coach will be happy seeing their centre-back doing step-overs, especially when he gives away possession. Pacheco. Here's Isaiah Garcia. Omri Baird. Well, certainly finding space quite easily. Not making use of it though, Garcia.
Well, they've done a fantastic job of
dancing with the stars.
Well, we talk about the interchanging, the movement, the creativity, the vision, the craft. It has been everything. And when you look at the points table, James,
Nah, just go right ahead and take, man.
Brent Sancho, mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brent Sancho, mic check.
Oh, that will be. Well, and just in case you close your eyes and ears for a moment, you might have missed 2 more goals, and we do apologize for the technical difficulties. But Deportivo point Fortin, well, look at that, 6-0 over Cunupia FC as we are inside the final 10. Maybe something here for Cunupia. Yes, there is. And, well, that's as good as consolations go. And they will have something to celebrate with their fans as they've been able to pull back something. And it's that man, Kwesi Allen, getting on the score sheet. And, well, when the scoreline says 6-1, it doesn't feel as good, but I'm sure they're going to take it anyway, Cunupia.
Well, it was good work by Caesar. Once he got this ball out wide, fizzed it across the goal. And Allen there with the slightest and deftest of touch to put it into the back of the net. Nothing more than a consolation, but a well-worked goal by Canopia FC.
Well, there have been a host of changes since you've possibly last seen the broadcast. Houghton Hector has been out. Well, Douglas tries his luck and he's won a corner. Houghton Hector has come out, so to Andre Pacheco. Akeem Redhead has come in and attack. So to Shaquille Henry, Smeck. certainly a win that they would put them in a decent looking position as they chase the top 3. And well, Cunupia will have to try again after that failed attempt at getting a goal from the corner. So win will take Point Fortin to 20 points. That's just a point below third place Police FC. And well, they're going to feel confident that as the round progresses that they can get in shot of the leaders as the top 2 are tied on 23 points.
Yeah, Deportivo has been certainly one of the better performers in this tournament so far. And they deserve to be within the rankings of Terminex La Hoquita Rangers, Defence Force and Police. You have to feel, though, James, that this tournament will be decided on the head-to-head games between that 4. And when that comes around, it's going to be an absolute cracker. Everything to play for. This version of Ascension tournament is far from over. Of course, that man there in the picture, David, has a lot to ponder, inclusive of a rocket. But this was the consolation goal. Cesar slides it across. Allen touches it into the corner. Good delivery there by Cesar. He's worked hard tonight, but it has been a challenge for him.
So we're just counting down the minutes to what will be a very famous Point Fortin win. 6 minutes remaining. 6 goals on the board for Point Fortin, or maybe more. Paul Shaquille Henry certainly wanted to have a go at extending that. No luck in getting it on target. Well, he's had 2 good looks since coming on. The man from Santa Flora, South Trinidad. He certainly wants to get his name in the headlines tomorrow. Well, you just look at the depth of this Point Fortin team and you feel that if everyone's healthy heading down into the backstretch of this tournament, that they certainly can bamba with the big boys.
Yeah, well, we talked about, of course, the head-to-head battles that is coming up between the Deportivos, the Police, the Defence Force, and Terminex La Hoquita Rangers of this world. But you have to look from a Deportivo perspective. They're class and craft players like Hector and this man in the ball, Garcia, are starting to come of age, certainly fitness-wise. They're looking a lot sharper. And they're the type of players that can have major impacts on tight games and close games.
Well, that man who just gave up the ball, Mark Ramdeen, might be one of them looking to stamp his name in the team in the future. And maybe Allen stamp his name on the score sheet with a second. Oh, it's not easy getting past Ronel Paul or any of the defenders for Point Fortin for that matter. Here's Shaquille Henry. Oh, he's done well, Henry. Has options and, well, he's chosen the Lone Ranger route. Well, if you're going to judge by the movie, didn't do very well. It's fair to say his shot didn't do very well as well. That movie did star Johnny Depp, didn't it?
Yeah.
He won recently, so 2 Point Fortin.
Well, I tell you, it's an actor that's gone up in many esteem since his off-court ramblings.
Well, Point Fortin will be Johnny Depping tonight. It's a long drive back to the southern borough. Just about 2 hours from the location here in La Hoquita. And I can tell you what, that bus ride is going to be a celebratory one. And Cunupia spoil the party, get a second goal. Wow, they came very close, the crossbar preventing that. Maybe now. It's with Shaquille Henry. They're going scouting for more goals as Mark Ramdeen skips away from 2 challenges. Well, I'm sure he's a good dancer. He's got such light feet. Here's Ronel Paul. Garcia. Well, he certainly had the right idea. Didn't quite get the execution. Akeem Redhead. Well, the clock is ticking down and it's just a matter of formality. Point Fortin. Well, they're just waiting for that final whistle, but they'll have to wait though. A goalkeeper on the other end is down, Jean-Pierre David. Well, they've broken the back of the Cunupia defense 6 times this evening. And, well, his back feeling some pain as well, quite literally, Jean-Pierre David.
Well, I think when you look at this bunch here, the Deportivo Point Fortin side, and with a full slate of games left in this round, you really can't put them out of the competition. You have to feel that they have a genuine chance of winning the Ascension tournament. If you are to, of course, take heed of the performance they put forward here tonight.
And what a performance that was. It's a 6 performance as they walk away 6-1 winners over Cunupia FC. A famous victory for Point Fortin will take them to 20 points. They will remain in 4th position, but certainly just 3 points off of the top of the table. So a gloomy atmosphere brought us into this match, and well, it's a gloomy one for Cunupia. They'll leave in a gloomy position. And the chances opening up Houghton Hector, breaking the deadlock of Andre Etienne's service, and that made it 1-0. Later on, some razzle-dazzle, and Isaiah Hudson, well, that was easy for him. And he gave Point Fortin some dance moves and a nice goal to celebrate. And, well, perhaps the goal of the match, Omri Dead. You don't stop those. Look out for the Hornets, by the way. That made it 3-0. Isaiah Hudson played a big part in this game, giving Houghton Hector his 2nd of the match, playing the instrument. And Houghton Hector making music. 4-0 Point Fortin. Cunupia did threaten occasionally, and that man was well prepared every single time. But Nathaniel Garcia and company, well, they gave a show for the most part. And, well, they had to evade some rough challenges as well, with a Cunupia team unrelenting and unwilling to go down. And then there was this excellent teamwork, and Andre Paseco, well, he found the bottom corner, the power and the precision. And that was 5 in the 2nd half. 37-year-old, still sure he can do the business. And then Hector sending Kesa on a run, and it's a run to glory finding the promised land. And by that time, well, Point 14 looking all set. Cunupia would get a consolation. Trevin Cesar finding Kwesi Allen, the substitute. And they were able to get one finally into the back of the net. But it was a case of too little, too late. Point 14 running away. 6-1 winners. Good time to look at the stats now as we check out some of what took place in the match. And, well, see a picture paints 1,000 words, and there's 1,000 for you. 20 shots to 14. 12 shots on target. Half of those went in for Deportivo. Of their 7 on target, just 1 went in for Cunupia. The fouls were pretty even, shared quite evenly, so too the yellow cards. Offsides, well, Cunupia, they finally got the edge on Point 14 with one of them, as well as corners and saves shared evenly and equally. But unfortunately, in the end, it was Deportivo Point 14 who got the most important statistic, and that was the score. And at the end of 90 minutes, Deportivo Point 14 walking away. 6-1 winners over Cunupia FC. And a match that we certainly all enjoyed. We'll be joining Brent Sancho shortly, but just a reminder of what's coming up later on. Don't forget, at 8 p.m. immediately following this match, Terminix La Hocketa Rangers, the top team on 23 points. They're going to be coming up against Central FC in a battle between top and bottom. Central FC, a young team in this competition, haven't really done well in the competition, coming up against a team who has scored the most goals in the competition. But I tell you what, we are set and ready to check out some of one of the top moments of the game. And I'm sure we'll all agree with our Sportsmax app moment. And there's nobody who's going to disagree about this one. Omni Beard. That's how you do it. A song from the 90s that said this is how we do it. And Omni Beard, well, he might have been playing that in his head as he gets our Sportsmax app moment. Well, we've seen the action. It's time to talk. And Brent Sancho is standing by and ready to talk with the coaches.
On camera too.
Paul, we do apologize that we've lost the audio and unfortunately won't be able to hear from the coaches. But please do stay with us as we get ready for match number 2 as Terminix La Hocketa Rangers, they come up against Central FC. Join us back in a few minutes right here on Sportsmax. For now, catch you later.